Gaines, and I'm so excited to be a part of the Business Accelerator Summit. I was part of the last summit, and I decided to switch it up this time. Instead of just seeing me talk for 30 minutes or use PowerPoint slides, I asked my great friend, Laura Pensatencio,
hello,
to interview me to make this just a little bit different than the other videos. You may recognize her from the last summit. Hey Laura, you want to talk? Tell them about yourself?
sure. The last summit I was talking about how to fill your sales funnel, and it was a great talk. I really enjoyed being part of the summit, but now I'm happy to support you and yours, Nancy. In general, I help women, entrepreneurial speakers, authors, and consultants to systematize their marketing so that they can stop drowning in overwhelm and focus on what they do best. Nancy?
And I'm a business productivity expert, so we are going to talk about systemizing your business so we can take you out of your business and you can do only the things that you really love. So Laura, I'm going to hand it over to you to just ask questions. Where do you want to start?
All right. Well, I'd like to start with, what is a system, Nancy?
A system. So being a technology consultant, a lot of people think that means a tool that you have to put in and it's complex, but really it's just a basic procedure, process, repeated way to do something so that if I wrote down the steps and gave it to somebody else, they could do it without my involvement. So very simple.
Great. Well, how do people know when they should systematize something?
Well, that one's super easy. A lot of business coaches will say you don't need to systemize until you're like at the $500,000 mark or more in revenue. I say systemize at day one. And here's why. You want to grow into your systems. You don't want to be growing and then say, wow, I need a system. How am I going to keep this, organized and not go crazy trying to manage everything? So systems are day one. And the cool thing about that is that's when you actually have time to put the thought into the systems and documenting them and figuring out what should the process be versus in fire mode when you're putting out fires and thinking, oh, I wish I would have put a system together.
Wait, they're scalable?
They're scalable.
Awesome. Okay, can you provide an example for me and our audience of what a sales system would be that most people think they have handled, but they're really missing in their business?
Absolutely. So there's 5 areas every business should have systems for. Sales, marketing, operations, people, and also your finances. So let's start with sales. The most common sales system people think they've got but don't, I would have to say follow-up.
I agree.
Right? People go to networking or they go to an event or even an online summit and they leave with all these business cards and they say, what do I do with these? I've actually had a client come to me with those Ziploc bags, those frozen Ziploc bags. She had like 4 of these bags of Ziploc cards and she's like, what do I do with this? And I said, wow, there's money in those bags that you're not touching.
I've seen shoeboxes full.
Yeah, you have full intention and then you're like, there's no picture on the card and you're wondering, who is this person? So let me tell you my favorite follow-up system, and it's free, so very, very simple. It's called 24/7/30. Do you know that one?
No.
You want to know it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, 24/7/30. Within 24 hours of meeting somebody, connect on social media.
Oh, I do that.
Easy, right? Within 7 days, send them a personalized email with a little template saying it was great meeting you. I loved our conversation about XYZ. And would you like to meet up for coffee or a virtual coffee? So set an appointment to talk with them and just connect. Real simple, doesn't have to be a sales call, just a follow-up. And then 30, every 30 days, reconnect with that person. Just a quick email or like something on their Facebook page to somehow make a touch point with them. So 24/7/30.
Awesome. So I'm already doing those things because I work with you, but I didn't know that's what we were calling it.
We have a name for everything. Yeah, Laura's also one of my favorite clients because she actually does what I tell her to do and she gets the results, right?
Yeah, I do. I sure do. So then we go into my favorite topic, which is marketing. So tell us your favorite marketing system.
Marketing system that people think they have that they don't really have?
Yes.
I would have to say launches, whether it's a launch of a current product, a relaunch of a product, or something brand new they're rolling out. I think they think it's easier and they just post some stuff and people are going to come and they don't have a systemized process for what do you do before you launch, a pre-launch, I think they're called, right?
I can validate that thought for you.
Awesome.
You're absolutely correct.
There's a pre-launch, a launch, and then even a post-launch, right?
Correct.
And it's a system, and when you follow the process, you're going to get consistent results. So that's probably one that's way overlooked.
Absolutely. Okay, and then this one people don't like to talk about. It's a little scary. How do you help with a financial system?
The money, right?
The money.
A lot of people, I find, I actually have to call people up at times and say, can you send me that invoice because I want to pay you and get it in my bookkeeping system. So I don't think people properly invoice. And
I've gotten a paper invoice by email recently, and then I'm looking at it like, how do I pay this?
do I call? Do I PayPal you? Yeah. So a great system for invoicing, especially if it's recurring payments, because a lot of times you have a high-end product and people may not be able to afford it, so they have to finance it. If you can have a recurring payment system, even PayPal does this, that sends them a bill on a certain amount of the certain day of the month, and then they actually, it even withdraws from their account. You do that, don't you, PayPal?
Recurring revenue?
Yeah.
Yes. Stripe, Square, PayPal, whatever works best for your business is fine.
My Infusionsoft CRM does this. So when I have clients that have a 3-pay, it automatically hits their credit card on the day, and then next 30 days, and then another 30 days, and it's an amazing system. So yeah, money for sure, they need systems.
I agree. I like seeing money magically appear in my business account that
Cha-ching.
came through. Yeah, cha-ching. It's great. So now we know they need to invoice. But let's say this is a lot of stuff starting to add up, and systems make it easier, but how do they get support by having a team so that the entrepreneur is not doing everything themselves?
So teams are definitely a system, because as an entrepreneur, a lot of people, and I was there too, I started out as a team of one, wearing all the hats, doing everything I needed to do.
I've been there.
Yeah, we all start there because we don't have any money, right? At first.
Right.
That's right from day one. You need to have other team members, because you should focus on your superpower. Mine is systemizing, yours is marketing.
Yes.
And that's why we outsource our bookkeeping.
Thank God.
I outsource my social media
Yeah.
to Laura's team. A virtual assistant is amazing. She does all of my scheduling, my follow-up, my podcast, which we'll talk about my podcast a little later.
Yes, we will.
Okay, the podcast is fun. You definitely need to hire other people, and you need systems for that. So when I hired my virtual assistant, I actually had a system of questions, the exact 5 questions I asked everybody. So I wasn't winging it on a conference call.
Yeah, I've let you vet my people.
Yeah. Because when you have consistent questions, you can document the answers and kind of compare apples to apples with candidates. Plus, if I'm running late because I had a networking meeting, I'm coming home to jump on a phone call, I'm kind of in the networking mindset, and now I need to get into interviewing. And having that cheat sheet, that system of ask these 5 things made it so much easier for me.
All right, well, hiring is great, but what I really struggled with when I was first getting staff, and I've been a manager and I've trained people, but this type of team is different. I had trouble preparing work to give the people who were supposed to help me so they could help me. How do you manage that?
I know, that is a great question. I always say hard now, easy later, and this is a 20-minute tip to make your day more productive.
Okay.
If you take 20 minutes and figure out what you need to allocate to your different people so that they can keep their jobs going. Otherwise, they're going to be bugging you saying, I need your sign off, I need your decision, I need all this stuff. So take 20 minutes and get everybody situated.
20 minutes, how often?
Every day.
Every day.
Every
Okay.
day. Just 20 minutes of I need to give this person. And if you're wondering how do I communicate, I just pick up my phone and I make a little memo or I make a video of what I want somebody to do, and done. That's like 3-minute video.
Well, that seems easy.
Yeah, like I just hired a great new blog person, outside of your team as well. We got a lot of blogs going on.
We do.
And she wasn't sure how to schedule a post for the future in WordPress. So I made a quick Jing video and sent it over. It was probably 90 seconds. Here's how you do it. And then she also wanted to know about, I forgot the other thing, but 2 Jing videos out of my 20 minutes, and I'm done.
Excellent. Okay. So now that you've got your team in place and your invoicing and your marketing and your sales, the day-to-day running of the business, the actual operations of your business, how do people know where they can take themselves out of the business and which areas of genius they need to stay in?
Absolutely, where they should focus on their superpower, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't even realize what they can systemize, and that's okay, because that's where I can help you. There's so many areas you can systemize, and here, write this down. Anything you do more than twice needs a system.
Oh my goodness.
Anything you do more than 3 times should be automated. So start paying attention to
About
what you're
automation.
doing. Watch what you do for a week, kind of track and say, I'm doing this over and over. I'm writing the same email, I'm calling the same people, I'm doing the same approval process, whatever it is, and document that and say, okay, now I've got a system, now I can delegate that.
I love templates.
Yes, it's a template. The checklist is one of the most basic systems that people overlook. A checklist is a system. Pilots who have been flying years and years still use a checklist.
Absolutely.
So that's a great thing. Our goal is to take you out of the business or to just let you do the things that you love to do and not the things you don't like to do. So systemize everything you can so you could take vacations so the money just shows up.
Right.
It's just amazing.
And often people confuse what their genius is and what they're good at. Like, I was a financial advisor prior to marketing, but I don't do my own bookkeeping. I'm good at it, but I don't love it.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right? Okay, so now we're going to get to my favorite thing that you do so well.
Okay.
I'm super impressed with Nancy. Even if I wasn't Power Partners and great friends with her, I would have been so impressed by her podcast interviews with Chris Brogan, Jay Baer, John Lee Dumas, I'm always mispronouncing his name, and Pat Flynn, who was just amazing when we met him last year and so much fun.
The podcast.
How do you keep that in order? How do you systemize the podcast? Because it's clear, if anybody's listened to it, and if you haven't, you really should, that you have a system.
I do have a system, and those guests were amazing. Chris Brogan, we talked about how he sat on the couch with Richard Branson.
I know.
Wasn't that cool? And then, let's see, Jay Baer was talking about signature speeches.
And tequila.
And tequila. And if you plan to be a speaker or if you are a speaker, definitely hit that podcast because he talks about having multiple talks versus your signature talk. You got to have a signature talk that you're known for. And he actually said, it's like when you go to see Foghat. Like, why would he pick Foghat?
Who's Foghat?
I think they're 70s or 80s.
Well, I've been to see Aerosmith, and I went to hear my favorite songs. I don't want to hear some random new thing.
Well, that's exactly what he
I
said.
know. I listened to the interview.
He's like, when you go hear a band, you want to hear their classics, not their new stuff. So get a signature speech. And then Pat Flynn, how cool was it to be face-to-face interviewing him? He was
amazing.
Hilarious. We talked a lot about Star Wars, right?
No,
Back to the Future.
And he asked and received the gift of becoming podcast number 88 because of the miles per hour that the DeLorean had to reach to activate the flux capacitor. Yes, he is the fun, best kind of geek, and I love him.
He was a fun one to interview. And then, of course, John Lee Dumas, who is the podcaster on Fire, the entrepreneur on Fire, I got to talk to him on his birthday.
That's amazing.
But let me tell you about the systems, because if you're going to be a podcaster, and I highly recommend it, great way to get your message out there, you need a system for that. So I'll just kind of do top down for my system for that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I plan to do one next year, so I'm paying close attention.
Okay, take notes on this. So first thing you got to do is get guests on your show if that's your format. If it's your own format, it'll be a little different. But guests, first I have to have an easy way for them to book me. So I have a calendar system called Schedule Once, and I highly recommend this whether you have podcasts or not, especially if you're a coaching client. Have your clients just pick the time that you're available versus scheduling a call by call. I've seen people do that.
I use Vcita. Accomplishes the same task. And I love
or
it.
you can book me. It's free. Lots of stuff.
Right.
So I have a scheduler that my VA, virtual assistant, sends out to that person and says, I'm going to be recording on these dates, and they pick the time that's available for them on those dates. Next, I send a printed list of questions, basically a checklist. And I ask for their bio, their headshot, and I have about 8 questions. 3 are mandatory, and then they can pick which other ones they want.
Sure.
And then I go to their website and just kind of get familiar with them, because I don't want to have it's just good manners to.
Yes, it is good manners. That's the best practice.
Yes.
Definitely highlight that.
Then we get on the conference call. When they schedule with me, they automatically get the dial-in number, which is perfect. I don't use Skype. I just record over freeconferencecall.com. When we're done, I format the file in Audacity. I've already got a beginning and an end, so I just merge those together. And on the day it's posted, I actually send them an email with links that they can click to share. So for Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google+. So it's really easy to get it out to their community. So that is my simple podcast formula. Is that what you're looking for?
It is. And I had a question while you were talking, and now it's gone. But the intro and the outro are pre-recorded by a voiceover artist, so they're very professional. Your sound quality is top-notch, which is key when you're doing a podcast.
Absolutely.
Nothing will lose podcast listeners like poor sound quality.
Did you know I outsourced the intro and outro?
I did know that you did that.
See, that's not my superpower. So I paid somebody on Elance, it might have been Fiverr, and said, please make me some podcast art and an opening and closing.
Right. And if there was a blooper somewhere in the middle, did you say you clap or something so you can find it?
Yeah, that's not me, but thank you for that system too. So if I'm talking to somebody and they have this coughing fit or they lose their thought or whatever, all I do is we put a big long pause in there of maybe 5 seconds, and then I know when I'm editing the tape exactly where the mistake was, so I can quickly edit it out. So that is a system too.
Because you want to make your guests appear intelligent and well-spoken and not embarrass them, so you definitely want to have a little bit of editing.
Yeah, it's my goal to make every guest look amazing. And by the way, if you'd like to be on my show, it's called The Nancy Gaines Show. It's all about business productivity. If that's not your superpower, we will somehow craft your superpower into productivity. So it's really, really easy.
You are an excellent interviewer and consistently make your guests sound nice. So if it's not somebody else's superpower, that's something they could get coached on.
For sure. So Nancy at nancygaines.com. Nancy at nancygaines.com if you want to be on the podcast. Mm-hmm. What other systems could we talk about? How about time?
Time? Time management?
Yes.
Absolutely. What have you got?
So time management. I like to work in 50-10 chunks. So 50 minutes I will hit a task super hard, then I could take a 10-minute break because I work from home. So I get up, I move around, get some water, maybe do the laundry, whatever.
You have to drink a lot of water here.
I know. I probably need a glass right now.
It's at altitude.
We're in Denver, Colorado recording this, so super, super fun. What's another? I love all these combinations. Oh, here's one. Here's a business system for you. 6525-10. So 65-25-10. Do you remember that one?
65-25-10. Nope, I've got nothing. Tell me all about it.
Okay, this is how I systemize my week. 65% is spent on sales and marketing and client-facing activities. 25% on new product development so I can launch. And then 10% on the administrative, operational, low priority things.
Which you would not be able to maintain without a team.
Absolutely, and that's why if your formula, if your combination 65-25-10 is off, you probably are doing too much of the admin stuff and you need an assistant.
Yes, I like the only number I've got is the 70-20-10 sharing rule.
Oh, why don't you share that one?
Well, 70% of the content that you share via your social media and outgoing marketing can be useful, relevant content for your audience that isn't created by you. It's curation. It takes a lot of the pressure off when you're creating content.
Because you outsource that, right?
The curation? Absolutely. Yeah, you shouldn't necessarily be doing it yourself. You can have someone. And then 20% of the content that you share is branded, relevant content that you have created during your product creation phase.
Right.
And if that is not your genius, you outsource it, but give your input. Never let someone do everything. You definitely want to put your personal spin on it. And then 10% of the time is your promotional products when you're actually launching something and you're saying, hey, look at me, look at me.
I like that.
Yeah.
70-20-10. So I hope everyone is writing this down. Of course, you can rewatch this again because we're going to throw a lot of cool stuff. What are some of our other favorite systems?
You have systems for everything. I want to hear more about your Infusionsoft and how you systemize from start to finish when we're doing a launch, which we do plenty together, and you have a lot of the back-end processes. So
Infusionsoft, so to be honest, it's over $200 a month. And when I first started my business, I bought it on day one, and I felt I bought it too early because $2,400 a year when you're just starting out is a lot of money. But being a technology consultant, so I've got almost 20 years with IBM in IT consulting. I knew I didn't want to do an upgrade later, so I'd rather just put the Cadillac in from the start.
Where I start people out with some lower cost options, and then we can scale them later as necessary.
Absolutely, but you definitely need a CRM system like Infusionsoft or MailChimp or Aweber.
But the purpose is the same.
The purpose is the same, and this is like my best employee for $200 a month. It's the best system I have because my landing pages are there, so when people come to my website, they can opt in. I get their email address, they get a goodie. It tracks when people are supposed to make phone calls with me. It tracks my coaching after somebody's bought it. It tracks, I set it up for multiple payments of systems. It's great to get this email that's saying, hey, somebody just bought something. It's kind of like, you've got mail.
Yeah.
And the money just shows up in my bank account. So all that's systemized. It's basically, my autoresponders are systemized, and I've got lots of different campaigns depending on what the opt-in is.
Sure.
I've got one after I've gone to an event and meet people, so they get immediate emails. That's more advanced than my 24/730.
Right.
Definitely the next step, and if you want to know about that, definitely Nancy at nancygaines.com. Send me an email. But all this is possible so that you're not handwriting all of these thank you notes.
Right.
It does really cool stuff.
You
and newsletters.
also do a lot of speaking around the world, keynote, paid, excellent speaking engagements, but you don't acquire those all by yourself. You have a system and a team.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good
I know.
question. We didn't even talk about that one ahead of time.
No.
So yeah, I recently spoke in India, Mexico. Last week it was Nashville, Tennessee. That was really fun because I love country music. Actually
Me
got to
too.
see some pretty cool artists. So my system for finding speaking is I have a cheat sheet that I give to my virtual assistant of the most common questions asked on every speaker application. And I'm not talking your local, what are those volunteers called? Kiwanis? I'm not talking
Oh,
that.
no. These are
Conferences.
technology industry and big conferences.
Right.
And next year you're looking in Europe and overseas,
Right.
New Zealand, you said?
So there's something called the call for speakers, basically. You can Google call for speakers, see all of the
You can
events.
have your assistant do it.
Or have your assistant do it. All these events that are looking for amazing people to come and share their content. So what I've done is I've compiled this. It's an evergreen piece of paper because it changes with all the core information asked on 99% of the applications, like name, address, phone number, website, social media, topic, the title of your talk, the abstract, the bio,
Right.
references,
And you have your speaker on, all those
speaker
things.
wheel. It's all on this just 2 pages.
Right.
And I make a list of the conference that I want to apply to, and I send it to my virtual assistant. She pulls out the cheat sheet and she just populates the answers.
Right, which is
Done.
really successful.
Because it takes hours. When I was doing it alone, that was a big chunk of my week.
I know. You also have people who are doing research for you when you're going to do advertising and ticketing for live events in multiple cities around the country. So,
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So we've got a system of how we promote events in other people's events in other cities that totally works. So that's pretty cool too.
yeah. But my point is you're not doing the research and you're not making the spreadsheets, and you've got
Nope.
systems and a team so that you can make maximum use of your time.
And you know why?
Why?
Because I did it more than twice. So I needed a system. And because it was more than 3 times, when it got up to 3, I said, we're automating this thing. So very,
Excellent.
very cool.
And I have seen that your system produces better results than people who aren't using a system.
You know why? Because systems work and people fail. Systems are consistent.
Well, that's true. And I would say if you are having trouble developing a system, then that's not your genius. And you should talk to Nancy about which system and how it should be set up, because they're different systems. They're generally the same,
Similar, right?
but they're definitely customized per your industry and your area of growth. And tell us how you would apply that to somebody's specific situation.
Sure. So if you're, let's say you're an MLM person, you're going to have different systems than if you have a brick and mortar, right?
Yes.
You have inventory or not inventory. That would be a differentiation.
Or if you're someone like us who's a speaker, author, consultant, and coach, we
Right.
all have similar coaching programs and books and things that we do, but we're very different.
Distribution is a system. So I've got an online product that people can just go purchase on their own, and it gets delivered to them. Like I could be on vacation and not have to be
So
involved.
a fulfillment center.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Versus brick and mortar where they've got to have inventory and someone's got to be at the cash register. So similar but
Yeah,
different.
I hate mailing things. I don't like to do that.
Well, if depending on the product, some of them I actually do send a gift package of stuff, but it's pretty cool.
Right. Well, you can also systematize handwritten things via the internet now.
Let's talk about send out cards.
Let's
Since
talk
we
about
both like
send-out
that.
cards.
So
we do.
I'm a big fan of mail. I like getting mail.
I like getting mail. I just don't like sending it.
I like sending mail too, but I've got that systemized with a amazing greeting card company called Send Out Cards.
Then we can do it from the computer. That doesn't count as going to the mailbox. I very much like sending things from my computer.
It takes me 15 seconds when I get a reminder of, so I had my virtual assistant enter all of my clients in there and their birthdays and their spouses and whatever
and
I
their
could get.
anniversary date of doing business with you?
Yes, everything I can get in
Everything.
there. And I get these reminders because it's automated that says, hey, it's time to send a card to somebody. All I do is click on that link in my email, choose a card, and I've only, I've narrowed it down to 4 that I like, so I'm
Yeah.
not.
I put my own brand on mine.
Oh, you must pay for the upgraded fee.
I
pay
do.
the basic.
I had my graphic designer put things on them. They're pretty.
I should probably upgrade. But yeah, you just pick your card and it gets sent out, and people love cards. I'm like
They
still
do.
surprised.
And the brownies,
Send out card brownies. That's totally worth it.
they're sinful.
Yeah.
So now we know when we would use a system, what a system is, how we can set them up in our business, but
And the 5 areas,
in the 5 areas.
which are, were you paying attention?
I was, but I have ADHD. I didn't memorize.
Say Sales, marketing, financial, team, and operations.
Oh, that's the five.
Yeah.
I was overcomplicating it.
There's only five areas. That's all you need.
Okay.
In fact,
so
go
sales,
ahead.
Marketing, financial, team, and operations.
There you go.
Okay, I can do it.
You got it. High five.
High five. I was definitely overcomplicating it. I bet.
Most people overcomplicate. Was that what your question was?
I was going to say, I bet that's the problem. We think this is harder than it is because it is for us, Nancy.
I know. For me, it's my superpower, but I get it now. But it's only 5 areas. And when I work with people, I always start with the most painful area. I mean, I've got a procedure that we could go from start to finish, but I really want to know where someone's feeling the pain. And if it's follow-up, then we jump right on follow-up. If it's,
Absolutely.
I'm afraid to bill people, or I don't know how to bill people, let's get that money flowing in. Like, we work in 4 to 6 week sprints, and we just like knock out one fire at a time and move on to something else.
Well, and for me, it was a VIP intensive where you helped me to package and price my programs because I already had quality information, but I was not presenting it in a scalable manner.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that. It's going quite well.
Yeah, the VIP day rocks. It's one of my favorite things to do. We're recording right here in our living room in Denver, Colorado, but with our big flip charts of Post-it notes and Post-it 3M paper all over, and we just take colored markers and we scope out all of the systems needed. So it is really cool.
Excellent. So what I want to know, and what I'm sure all of the watchers want to know at the end of this, is how can we take further action with you? I mean, I know, but you need to know how to take further action with you. How can we work with you in the best way? What is the action to take right now?
Awesome. Great question. So I have a freebie for everybody who's watching, and let me just preference it that I know there's 20 other speakers and your inbox is going to blow up after this summit. So please make a folder called Nancy and you'll get 6 emails from me. That's it, just 6 over the next, as soon as you opt in for this freebie. Just put them in that folder and read them when you're ready to systemize. I don't want you to unsubscribe because you're feeling overwhelmed. Just make a little holding file. Oh, that's a email system. Maybe we can share that in the end too.
Well,
so the freebie is called the Productivity Accelerator Success System, PASS. You can get it at nancygaines.com/PASS. Spells pass.
So I feel like you're being modest, and you should open her things right away and learn how to systemize, so then you can pay better attention to the other people's things. Then you can give full time to everyone.
That's actually a better
plan.
plan.
That's just my suggestion.
Okay, thanks, Laura.
You're welcome.
That's probably a better plan.
When I do your things first, I get more use out of my other time. So.
Okay, so we're going to scratch that and re-say it. Please open mine first and listen to these tapes. There's 4 tapes, 30 minutes each. It's going to really make you more productive in your business. So nancygaines.com/PASS. You'll get 6 emails total, and open the first one.
You can teach people how to get an hour back into their day, and they can use it to consume all the other information.
That is my goal. If watching this 30-minute video just earned you back 1 hour of your day, wasn't it worth your time? Would you agree?
I've earned back closer to 25 hours a week, so I'm pleased.
Good, and your profits are up too, right?
Yes, they are.
That's important. It's great to have time,
I am
but
great at the marketing. I am fantastic at that, but you have got to have a system to make it work. The 2 of us together, unstoppable.
Yes.
That's all I have to say about that.
And the email system really quick, because we've got about 30 seconds left. Here's how I stay on top of my email, because if you're not on top of your email, you're afraid you're going to miss that important thing. I make 3 folders. One's called Action, one's called Read, one's called Waiting. Action, because only 20% of your emails really require you to do something. Did you know that?
I use SaneBox to sort them for me now. It saved
that's
my
even
assistant
cool.
so much time, so I can put them to better things.
Well, whichever way you do it, make sure you take every email that comes in and kind of put it in a holding place, whether it needs your action, just something to read, or it's waiting for somebody to get back to you, and it's made, another hour in your day will come back on that. What's yours called again?
What's my
The tool?
Oh, SaneBox. If you go to
Same, S-A-M-E?
S-A-N-E, like you keep your
sane.
sanity.
I love that.
If you go to socialsavvygeek.com/resources, all the tools that I recommend are right there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So bonus, we got Laura's stuff too.
But for now, you should go to www.nancygaines.com/PASS and get your freebie.
Yeah, this is a $500 value, so my gift to you for watching the summit. And thanks, Brian and Emily, for inviting me to be on this. It's been a really cool experience. I love it second time, and hopefully you're loving this new interview format.
I hope so as well, because I'd love to do another Summit of the Future Best Experience.
Excellent. Have a great day.
Bye.